Hello, everyone. This is Lisa Hanfileti,
And Peter Hanfileti.
and we are practicing very safe social distancing right now. He's in his office, I'm in mine, and
Separate rooms.
separate rooms. And today we want to share with you our 9 tips for your self-care. So these are things to help you with dealing with some of the stress and anxiety that's most likely coming up during this very strange time. So Pete, why don't you start with our first tip?
Number 1 is turn off the news. That's not 100%, but hopefully most of the time you can turn off the news and do other things in the house. We realize it's difficult because none of us are working, the kids are out of school, you can't really go anywhere. But if we can just practice some restraint and not get hooked on all the news that's coming into our living rooms, it will be helpful.
Yeah, I have some tips for you too with social media. And I would recommend, turn on the news in the morning and the evening just to get the updates because things are changing pretty rapidly and we want you to stay up to date. But you don't need to have your phone pinging every time somebody, posts something new on social media. So there are notification settings that you can change for Facebook or Twitter or whatever so that you're not getting notified. And then when you have time, set aside a short period of time where you can just go and scroll and find that information that you need for the day and then turn it off. Because otherwise it just ratchets up that anxiety.
That's a good point, to have some control over the influx of images and notices coming your way. That way it also gives you a sense of control.
Absolutely. So our next tip is to start that gratitude journal that you've been meaning to start but haven't started yet. Or pick it back up again. And the reason for this is if we forget the things that we're grateful for, sometimes it's easy to just focus on all the things that feel like they're going wrong. So just take some time to ponder. And a friend of mine told me a while back, an easy way to do this is just think of right before you go to bed at night, 5 things you're grateful for during that day. And when you get up in the morning, think of 5 things you're grateful for that will happen during that day. So that's an easy way for me to do that kind of thing.
I think another important piece of the puzzle to keep in mind is that when you have the thought or the feeling of gratitude, it puts your whole energy system into a different state. So the more you're thinking about positive things, that will have ramifications for your body and your system as a whole. From an energy perspective, we talk a lot about that in acupuncture and using the acupuncture system, but you can actually do some of that yourself by having thoughts of gratitude.
That's true. It changes your brain chemistry when you're
Right.
Yeah, you're grateful. All right. The next tip we have, Pete, is
Set a schedule. Now, this is also very difficult because all of us have our normal schedule has been thrown out the window, and we've been off of work now. This is our 2nd week, and that first week, I felt so discombobulated. I didn't know what day it was, and
that's right.
Did I eat lunch today? So it's really having an effect on all of us. So if we can set even a minimal schedule of what you're doing in the morning, what time you're going to eat, what little projects that you have to do, it can be very helpful. This week I'm actually taking an online course that's teaching me how to do virtual visits through our practice. So that should be coming down the pike pretty soon. And that's those classes are every morning at 8 o'clock. So I got to make sure I'm up and at the computer at 8 o'clock in the morning. And that's helped me to set my own personal schedule to get up at a reasonable time in the morning.
Yeah, I think this is really important. And I did watch this with Pete that first week. He was really, we were both kind of trying to navigate, this new normal. But it really makes a difference, especially for some type of people that like to have a regiment. And I think this is probably true for kids too. There are some kids, personality-wise, they really need to have structure. But I think for everybody, setting a time to go to bed and really trying to do that and getting really good quality sleep is super important right now. So setting a schedule for yourself and trying to follow it, and give yourself freedom on weekends like you normally would with sleep. But during the week, try to maintain that schedule. It'll make a big difference for your whole system. All right, our next tip, number 4, is exercise. So this is something that you can do very easily. It doesn't have to be complicated. I mean, putting on some music and dancing around can be exercise. It can be something that you do that gets you active. And make sure that you step out on your back porch or your front porch and just breathe some fresh air, change that environment around a little bit. There are classes that you can take online too, yoga classes, exercise classes. I know Peter and I were doing Orange Theory Fitness recently. They just opened a studio, and we've been having a great time with that. And unfortunately, they had to close like every other business around here. But they're sending us through their app exercises that we can do at home, which is really awesome. They froze our account, our monthly payments, which was again very, very nice. But they're still sending us exercises that we can adapt for doing at home. And I was watching the one today, and instead of weights, they just have shoes, pick up 2 shoes and start doing this. And instead of a band, they just say, grab a hand towel. So they're trying to make it fun and exciting. And I think that, staying active and moving around and stretching and those kinds of things do so much for the whole mind, body, spirit.
Right. And keep in mind that if you have a dog or a cat, playing with them or running around in the backyard is a form of exercise too. And it can be very therapeutic.
Did Kiwi make you say that?
Yes, I think he did.
All right. Tip number 5.
Drink water and stay hydrated. Hydration is important for everything. Most people know that our bodies are at least 70% water. And it's easy to forget to drink water unless you have a container available you can have ready access to. And even then, there are times when hours go by during the day and I forget to drink water. So maybe have little reminders so that you remember to drink and stay hydrated. If you're taking medications, it's important to know that if you become dehydrated, those medications can be more likely to cause side effects. So even with your regular everyday routine, hydration is an important piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. If you find that you're getting headaches or feeling more achy, sometimes that can be a sign of dehydration too. So good point there. And number 6 is eat healthy food. So when we're stuck at home, it's really easy to look at that refrigerator and decide instead of cooking to grab a bag of chips or something like that. But one thing we know is that a lot of sugar and a lot of processed food affects our mood and it affects our microbiome, our digestive system. And so when we're already under stress and anxiety, when you eat those kinds of foods, it just makes everything worse. So make sure you're eating, apples, oranges, have some grapes, have some fruit that you can eat, that you can grab easily without having to do a lot of work, and make sure you're eating vegetables and those kinds of things to really keep your brain active and good. And those are also anti-inflammatory foods too. So keeping the inflammation down always is helpful.
One other little tip is that in the Chinese medicine system, liver and liver energy is important when we're all dealing with stress. And one of the food groups that is most beneficial for that liver energy circuit is citrus fruits. So if you like oranges, lemons, grapefruits, things like that, eating them or drinking the juice would be a good thing to do at this time.
Very good point. So adding some lemon to water is a win-win right there. You get your hydration and you get your citrus.
Good idea.
All right, tip number 7. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. So we all need coping mechanisms and coping strategies right now. So if you have a counselor that you know has helped you in the past, this is an awesome time to reach out to your counselor. Counselors can do phone consultations. They can do video consultations. I know most of our patients would normally just come see us for acupuncture because we know how good it is for stress relief and for anxiety and that kind of stuff. And we can provide, like Pete was talking about, some video consultations. We've been doing that with people. It's something that, we can teach meditations, visualizations, breathing techniques, tips and things like that. So if you're interested, just let us know. But don't be afraid to reach out just to friends, family. You can pick up the phone, you can text, that kind of stuff. Don't put pressure on yourself to feel like you should be, doing this all alone. So even though we have to kind of isolate, we don't have to be alone or feel alone about it all. So don't be afraid to reach out for help or guidance, or just to touch base with people.
Right. So the key point is social distancing can be done, but you don't have to be so socially isolated.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
good point.
This is my favorite tip, number 8. Make sure you laugh a lot. So laughing also changes brain chemistry. Even smiling changes brain chemistry. And if you find it hard to laugh because you feel like there's just too much going on, take time to turn on, old I Love Lucy episodes. You can look for them on Netflix, or
cat videos.
Cat videos for sure. You can get on YouTube and search
animal videos.
There's comedians on YouTube also that you can find. There are books for sure, in the humor section. You can get to Audible. You can also find comedians on Audible and books on Audible. So making sure that you laugh. And I'll just add one other thing. We talked about going outside and getting fresh air. If you look up, so look at the sky, look at the treetops, look at the birds, that just lifting the eyes changes brain chemistry, and it uplifts the whole body, the whole mind, the whole spirit. So even simple things like that can make a difference in our mood and the way we're seeing or perceiving or framing what's going on right now. All right?
Yep, sounds good.
And then our 9th tip is imagine life after this is all, I won't say over, but changed. So what I recommend, this is a visualization that I often teach people who, for instance, are afraid to fly or something like that. But visualize your life a year from now, and imagine you're looking back on the time right now and saying, wow, remember last spring when we had to deal with that whole COVID-19 thing and we were stuck in our homes? And look at us now. Now we're able to do whatever we want, and the economy's bounced back, and we're working. And so add as many kinds of things into that make you feel happy and good. It's your visualization. So you can even add in, and I'm more fit, and we have more money in the bank now than we did back then. So you can add in whatever you want, but you want to visualize it as though you're looking back and you survived that whole home isolation thing, no problem, and everybody's doing great.
Yeah, I think that almost surely when this is over, we're all going to have a sense of not taking for granted those freedoms and things that we're able to do, which is opposite of what's happening right now. So just have confidence that this will come to an end, and even though we don't know when exactly, it will get back to more normal life. Maybe not 100%, but pretty close to it, and we can all look forward to that.
Yeah, in the future, I look forward to Pete and I doing a live stream sitting side by side instead of
right.
All right, you guys. Well, we'd love to hear what your tips are. So if you have some tips that you have found useful, put them in the comments below. I'm not sure where you're watching this. We're streaming to YouTube, and we're also streaming to Facebook. So wherever you are, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and leave us a comment, and let us know if this is something that's been useful for you. So we appreciate you guys. We miss you. We miss you very much. We miss being at work. We miss seeing our patients. And we're just hoping the best for everybody. And we look forward to a time when we're all together again.
All right. We hope to see you guys soon.
All right. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.